Hello, and welcome to English Storytelling. I'm really glad you're here. Take a moment, relax, and get comfortable. If you're tired, if your mind feels full, this story is for you. You don't need to understand everything. Just listen. You don't need to understand every word right now. You just need to stay and listen. Sunday night was quiet in a special way. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels full of thoughts, memories, and slow breathing. The city was still awake, but tired. Lights were on behind windows. Cars passed slowly, and time felt softer than usual, like it was giving permission to slow down. I sat near the window with a warm cup of tea and felt the silence around me. Not lonely, just calm. And in that calm, I started to think about how everything in life changes slowly. Not in big moments, not in loud ways, but in small, silent steps that nobody sees. Learning English felt exactly like that. Slow, quiet, sometimes boring, sometimes confusing, but always moving forward even when it didn't feel like it. I remembered the days when English sounded like noise, when sentences moved too fast and my brain couldn't catch them.
When I felt tired after just 5 minutes of listening and wanted to quit, wanted to close the video, wanted to say, this is not for me, but somehow I stayed.
I stayed and listened not because I was strong, but because I was tired of stopping, tired of starting again from zero, tired of feeling behind. That Sunday night reminded me that progress does not shout, it whispers. And if you listen carefully, you can hear it growing inside you. I looked outside and saw people walking slowly, couples talking quietly, someone waiting for a bus, someone standing alone, and I realized that everyone was carrying something inside. Worries, hopes, fears, dreams. And learning something new was just another thing we all carry silently. I thought about fear, the fear of speaking, the fear of making mistakes, the fear of sounding stupid. And I smiled a little because I knew that fear so well. I lived with it. But I also learned something important. Over time, fear does not disappear. Before you act, it disappears after. The first time I spoke English, my voice was low and broken. My sentences were not clean. My grammar was not correct, but nothing bad happened. The world did not stop. Nobody laughed. Nobody pointed at me. And that was the moment I understood that most of the fear was only in my head. Sunday nights teach patience. They teach you that it is okay to be slow, okay to repeat, okay to listen, again and again. Because learning is not a race, it is a long walk, and everyone walks at their own speed. I opened a small notebook and wrote simple sentences, not beautiful ones, just honest ones. Sentences that felt real. I am learning, I am improving, I am not late, and when I read them slowly, I felt something warm inside my chest. Not excitement, not happiness, but quiet confidence. Outside, the night grew darker, but inside, the room felt safe, and I imagined my future self, not perfect, not fluent like a native speaker, but calm, able to speak without shaking, able to listen without panic, able to understand without translating. Every word in my head, I imagined having a conversation where I didn't rush, where silence didn't scare me, where I could pause, breathe, and continue, and that image felt real, not like a dream, but like a destination, slowly getting closer. I realized that every Sunday like this, every quiet listening session, every slow story, every repeated sentence was a small step toward that version of me. And even if I couldn't see the progress every day, it was happening. The city outside kept breathing, lights turning off one by one, the night moving forward, and I stayed there listening, letting the words flow, letting the silence help me, understanding that learning English was not something I had to fight, but something I could live with, something that could become part of my calm, part of my routine, part of my Sunday nights. And if you are listening right now, if you are here, staying, breathing, not rushing, then you are already doing the most important thing. You did not quit, and that is enough for tonight. And as the night reached its deepest point, I felt no need to add more, no need to rush toward an ending, because endings do not need to be loud, they only need to feel right. The city outside was almost asleep. Now, lights low, movement slow, and the quiet felt complete, like everything had finally settled into its place. I took one last slow breath and noticed how calm my body felt, how relaxed my thoughts were, and how natural the sound of English had become in this moment. Not something I was chasing, not something I was trying to control, just something I was sharing space with. I understood then that learning does not always feel like effort. Sometimes it feels like rest, like allowing yourself to stay with something instead of fighting it. Sunday night gave me that permission to stop judging my progress, permission to stop measuring myself, permission to simply continue. I realized that tomorrow would come. Whether I worried or not, Monday would arrive, whether I felt ready or not. But tonight had already done its job. It reminded me that consistency lives in quiet moments, not in dramatic changes. I did not need to promise myself anything. I did not need to plan every step. I only needed to trust that I would come back again to listening, to learning, to staying, and that trust felt enough. The words slowly faded into the background of my thoughts, blending with the silence instead of breaking it, and I felt comfortable letting them go, knowing they would return another day. If you're listening right now, maybe tired, maybe calm, maybe somewhere in between, remember this moment. Remember that you stayed, that you listened, that you allowed yourself to learn without pressure. This is how progress really happens. Quietly, gently, almost invisibly. So take a final breath, let your shoulders relax, let the night carry the rest, and when you are ready, sleep or rest or simply sit in silence, knowing that tonight, without noise, without stress, you moved forward.